Hi everyone, Connie from The Painted Photographer. I'm starting a new thing on my Paint It or Pitch It nights. If you watch me on the DIY Paint page every other Wednesday, I go to thrift stores and I find items that need to have a little bit of a refresh, or some things that I just think are really cool and they need just a cleanup. And I show them on the Paint It or Pitch It on Wednesday nights at DIY. And I'm gonna come over here to YouTube and I'm gonna show you how I transform them. So I hope you'll follow along and subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button. I thought it'd be fun to take you through my thrift store that I get to see every week. And I hope you don't get seasick, but this is just a fast little clip of all the stuff that they have there. There's so much stuff that has been here forever. Look at some of these prices. Love the frame, but not that price. And then there's another one that's been over here forever, and it's really cool frame, and it has canvas, but there's a hole in it, and it's still got a nice price on it. There were these candlesticks. There were 4 of them, and I contemplated about getting them, and then I didn't. It's down to 2. I still didn't get them. As I was walking through, I noticed underneath a shelf, kind of pushed back, someone was trying to hide this. It's a really big, cool lantern that I did get. I painted it white, and you'll see it in the rest of the video. I know a lot of people like bunt pans. I just can't get into them. There's 4 of them here in some fun colors. But, yep, didn't get them either. Lots of jars with lids on them. But in the back was my vase that I found with that texture around the rim. It's in my cart. During my Paint It or Pitch It, I painted the front of this tray in that China blue pattern. But here I'm showing you how to paint the back side. I just used the DIY blue iris, which is a really, really pretty blue, and painted the entire rim and bottom with the China blue. After the paint was dry, I put on the DIY liquid patina. What that does is it seals in that blue iris so that when I went and put the white over the top, I could distress the white paint and the blue iris would be the color that would come through. Now we're going to skip to this wooden white tray. I just gave it a coat of vintage linen, DIY vintage linen, and covered the entire surface of the inside and then kind of dry brushed where that texture was. I had also painted that tray, that metal tray, in vintage linen, and now I'm distressing using a baby wipe, and you can see that that blue iris is coming through and it is not wiping off because of the liquid patina that I applied. Here's the birdhouse. It had a nail that was stuck through it. Somebody didn't do a very good job, and as I was trying to see it, it popped off, which was good. Got the nail out, glued that back on. Now I'm taking some blue iris and I'm going to paint the roof. The body of the birdhouse was painted in vintage linen. And I took vintage linen and blue iris and made a lighter blue. I put it right onto that's a plexiglass sheet, mixed that 2 blues together to get a nice light blue, because you need a little bit of a contrast. So make this blue pretty light. Now we're just going to take our brush and make just brush strokes here and there. It doesn't really matter where you make them, because all you're doing is covering the space where the stamp is going to be. I also use little dabs of blue iris straight to have a little bit more color. Now I sprayed it with water. I got it nice and soupy wet. Then I took a baby wipe and I dabbed over the top of it. What you're doing is trying to mute that down and give it some high areas and some low areas.
If you need more water, just squirt it and take that baby wipe. And it also blends the colors on the ends and doesn't make them so sharp. Gives them more of a blended look. Here I'm adding more water and dabbing it off. Getting a fresh baby wipe so that those colors don't bleed. And dabbing, 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 dabbing. I was going to add more flowers to the other side of the birdhouse, so here's that same process again. Here is the Rose Toil IOD stamp set that I'm going to use for that China Blue pattern. And you want to make sure that your paint is completely dry. Then take your China Blue ink and stamp your stamp and place it onto your item right over top of the blue. Does not matter where you put it, just put it somewhat over top of the blue. This one I had to go around the corner as carefully as I could and get that image on the back side. Here it is. Makes a really pretty China pattern. I then added some of the other stamps from that same set. This is a lot of text, and I think that China pattern looks really pretty with some text. Just adding it here and there. Then I took some leaves from the Painterly Floral stamp set and added just a few little leaves off that Rose Toil pattern, which kind of extended it off a little bit, which made it a lot more interesting. Then I wanted a little texture on that roof, so I put the blue iris on there, the blue iris DIY paint on there, really thick. Adding it everywhere on there with a brush. And then I took the Rose Toil stamp and I pushed it into the paint. And when you take that off, it leaves that pattern. And now I added the liquid patina so that when I distress it, it will not go down to the base layer. Put White Swan over the top of that blue and took a baby wipe and distressed just a few of the edges back. Brought out that pattern of that Rose Toil on that roof also.
I had a package of floral foam and I cut it into little pieces.
I glued them all down in the bottom of the mini bundt pan just to keep them nice and secure. Added some Spanish moss to cover that up. You could use rocks if you want. I had Spanish moss, so that's what I used. Stuck it in there. It stays on. And then I took the sedum. Some of them are a little bit too long. Take a wire cutters and cut them down. And I stuck that artificial sedum into this mini bundt pan and made this cute little planter. It's so mini.
Hey, did you enjoy that? I hope you did. Connie Hemmer at thepaintedphotographer.com to get your DIY paint and IOD products. If you'd like any of the home decor, check out thepaintedphotographerhomedecor.com. There'll be a link below. And you can purchase these items on my website and I'll ship them to you. Or if you're local, just choose local pickup.
I wanted to show you decorating without a tray. Here's a couple of items on my table with no tray underneath them. And then I took a tray and put it on my table and then put some items on top of it. Now, do you need a tray for your table?
I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll make your own mini bundt pan or your own wood tray. And if you liked this China Blue project, I'm having another YouTube pop up shortly that will show you how I did this, and that's all it will contain. So if you liked this look and you want a little bit better tutorial, head on over there. And then I didn't tell you in the video, but this one, all I did was I white waxed it. So natural wood, just put on some white wax and it turned out amazing. If you'd like to purchase any of these finished products, head on over to thepaintedphotographerhomedecor.com. There'll be a link below and you can purchase them. They'll be up shortly. And also, if you're interested in a little bit more detail, I will be showing all of my painted or pitch it projects on my Facebook page, The Painted Photographer, on Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. So join me over there. And until next time, happy painting.